And of course the song I want to discuss today is Dream of the Drowned Submariner, which is a huge request. And as often happens with huge requests, I'm thinking, well, I remember this song being like a simple strumming song, and certainly why people keep asking me for it. And turns out as usual, I was wrong, and it turned out to be this really sophisticated, really extremely well written and well arranged song, full with little subtleties and stuff like that, as usual. And of course, the inspiration for this song comes from recent events, because in past few weeks, two major catastrophes had happened, which is, first one is of course the migrant boat disaster and 82 deaths, which is, I mean, stuff like that shouldn't happen, period. And but that's one maritime disaster. And the second maritime disaster, it's of course the Titan submersible implosion. And I'm a huge Titanic fan, and of course I know probably more than a normal human being should know about this disaster and Titanic in particular, because again, I'm a huge fan. And in particular, one of the victims here, Paul Henri Nargeolet, I think his daughter said something like, it's a noble death in the sense that he had a lifetime basically admiration to the sea and to the Titanic, and so he basically, now he's buried in the sea and she sees it like a noble thing, which is interesting way to put it. And I think if you think about it, it's a really noble thing, I think. And of course, in Privateering album, I mean, there are speculations about what the submarine was, and people speculate that could be Kursk, which happened in 2000, and actually in Mark's birthday, coincidentally enough. And probably Mark remembered it, that it happened in his birthday, but who knows. But of course, on the Privateering album, Mark was heavily inspired by the works of Patrick O'Brian and all these sea novels, and you have also a song like Haul Away, which is also and Privateering itself, the song is all this sea. I mean, this whole album has these sea topics built in that. And so yeah, that actually there was a lot of submarine and submersible incidents since 2000, and Titan is a submersible, and the difference between submersible and submarine is submersible needs a mother vessel to work, and submarine is more like a independent thing. And so in mind, I think I'm going to divide it in two parts, basically. So I'll first go through the chords and rhythm, and while I'm at it, I'm going to discuss subtleties and things I like, and then I'll discuss the strumming. And Elephant in the Room, of course, is the intro, because there's a number of ways of how you can actually divide it rhythmically in time. And I came up with this. I don't have any sources of where I can look it up, but this is something I came up with. And the purpose of writing music down is for other musicians to understand it, and so hopefully my little version will help. So I divide it like this, and I'll play with my thumb only, so that would be something like. So I divide it into 4 parts each, so it's a 2-part intro, and I divide each part into 4 parts. So the first bar is 4/4 bar, 1, 2, 3, 4. The second bar is 5/4 bar, that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Third bar is 3/4, and fourth bar is 4/4. Repeats. And you may notice here it's actually 2/4. So it's a little bit confusing, but it will make sense. So what I like the most about this is that all the chords fall in the places I want it to fall. So for instance, this G with B in the bass falls in the weak on the weak beat, so that would be and it kind of leads to this C major. And the same thing happens here with D minor. And same happens with C, and actually D minor with F in the bass I play like that, so that would be mute mute 3 2 3. And usually D minor with F in the bass would be something like that or like that, like in the song Roxanne. The second chord in Roxanne is D minor with F in the bass, but I play here it like that. And next chord is A minor with E in the bass, and next is C with E in the bass. So it's all basically 3 strings chords, as opposed to, and this A minor with E in the bass is kind of, it has this classical sound to it, and this is like a classical tune to me, and especially if you consider this clarinet solo, it really sounds like a classical music to me. So, and now I'll play and count so it makes sense. Play the intro and count it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And so it's even useful to count it without an instrument. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And some of you may notice that if you actually add up these beats, it actually, for instance, if you take this 5/4 and you add one beat to the lowest line, it would be 4/4, 4/4, 4/4, and 4/4. But it's possible to write it down in 4/4, but it will not make sense because this chord will fall in C, and then there will be a one beat of C, and then so the beats won't line up. So that's why I love this system, because all this it's very natural, and in the same way as when you learn this thing, of course you stop thinking about it and it becomes the second nature, because it really flows and it's beautiful. that's the intro. The next part would be the verse, and that's probably my favorite part. And I especially love the bass line here, and that would be the run along easy at periscope depth. And here on Some Dappling Through, it's actually the harmony suggests C with E in the bass, and that would be sun jumping through clear water. But I think Mark thought that it's too much in your face, and it's too it's too loud, and I think he asked the bass player to actually play this E like a mute, basically. So it would be the run along easy at periscope depth, sun jumping through clear water, and it becomes this really subtle, and it's actually in every single verse this exact thing happens. So it would be C, F, G, C, and then this little quiet actually E in the bass. Now next chord is D minor 7, but because this song uses this kind of the pattern where it's like a Travis picking basically, and because this D minor 7 chord is basically a three strings chord, you can't possibly strum it this way. So what I'm doing is I'm adding this F in the bass, and it allows me to actually to finger pick it. And so that would be the periscope depth, sun dropping through clear water. This is a folky sus4. So went the dream of a drowned submariner. And here it's a clear C major. It's not C with G in the bass or nothing like that. It's C, B, B. Really folky sound, like Paul Simon-ish sound, and like, I don't know, reminds me of April Come She Will. So F, G, C, B, B, far away from this water. A pretty easy verse compared to the intro, of course, which is like this interesting, which has this interesting rhythm to it. And the next section would be the solo, and the solo is almost identical to the intro, but it has some differences. For instance, in this second part of the solo, and solo is also played in the outro, of course, and there's a difference here, and the difference is an F chord in the second part. So if you'll see here in the second part, it would be that would be two beats of A minor with E in the bass and G. And in the solo section, it's A minor followed by F major and to G, and it loops perfectly. That's why it's also used in the outro. So that will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So something like that. So it will be perfectly. So it's used in solo and in the outro as well. So that's it. And another part of the song is this From Down in the Vault, which I believe I disliked. So when I first heard the album, I disliked this section because it utilizes this pop kind of delays, and I disliked it. So it was like something like from down in the vault, down in the reaching, and you know, to the light, always. So I like it. Nah, it's too pop for me, I think. I wish there would be no this kind of sound on the album, because it personally, I dislike the song to the point I just skipped it, and so because of that. But obviously I now love the song, and on live shows it was never a thing. So it wasn't like that. It wasn't like reaching up to the line, always. But anyway, so it's an easy part as the verse: F to G, F to G, C to G in the bass, F, C, G, the three chords basically. So that's the chords for the song, and of course I also wrote it down in the form of the ultimate guitar chords here, so you can pretty much see every changes here. So that would be the intro. I also wrote down the time signatures here as well, and that's the place where the subtle change happens in the solo. Here goes one additional F chord. And on the album the solo actually happens just like I played in the intro of this video. I play this in a little finger style thing. Yeah, but I also tabbed it out, so it will be written down as well. So you can follow the chords here. The link is in the description. And also I tabbed it out, so might as well take a look at that. So that would be here. And here you can actually see the pattern, the finger picking pattern for the song. And that would be this thing here, which reminds me of songs like Boom Like That. There went something like so here's the same idea. That would be downstroke, middle finger downstroke, then index, thumb, index, thumb, middle. And this is how it starts. This is the D minor with F in the bass I was talking about. And here it's like this, all these chords fall on weak beats, which I like. I also tabbed out the verse as well, and throughout the whole song this pattern gets used. For instance, the verse would sound like this. Here is the solo, a little finger picking solo. So yeah, I think that's everything I wanted to discuss here. Not the hardest song I ever played, but not the easiest one either. So it sits in between, I think, of the difficulty level. But I think the main idea is just to grasp this rhythm, I think, to get used to playing it. And once you get used to playing it, actually it becomes a second nature, and so you stop thinking about it. As with any odd time signature, that's what happens. You just get used to that and stop thinking about it and just play. That's, I think, everything I wanted to discuss in this song. And another thing probably would be, you also can strum this as well, and the strumming I would suggest would be something like that would be constant eighth notes. And with additional bass notes from time to time. But anyway, I think this song is a great exercise for rhythm, for finger picking, and for singing as well, and it's a perfect song, and I hope you liked it. Thank you for watching.